My name is Femi Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Sourcing Business. Sourcing Business is an online platform where freelancers and employers of labor are able to connect in order to exchange value. The platform gives freelancers opportunity to be able to create their gigs, showcasing what they can offer to organizations, the solutions they can provide, and especially services they can offer, virtually. Startups are actually looking for skilled professionals like these who are able to help them deliver their job, cheaper, who are able to help them deliver their job faster, and who are able to help them deliver their job with better quality. And these are the capabilities that you found in Freelancers. And so Sourcing Business provides a platform where such people are able to offer their gigs so that startups and small business owners around the world can be able to access them to be able to buy their services. On Sourcing Business, we'll
Hello, good morning. It's another beautiful Wednesday morning right here on Upskilling 5 million African freelancers in 5 years. That is our goal, and I welcome you to another interesting edition where we'll be talking to someone who has been a freelancer for quite some time and has a lot of experience in his archives and has learned and made a success out of his life. He's one of the success stories out of Nigeria. He's one of those people when you look up, you say, I know a freelancer who is successful and who is a Nigerian. He's one of those people, and he'll be talking to us today. He'll be telling us exactly how he did it, what he did, and explaining some things relating to content strategies, content marketing, content writing, and so much more. So wherever you are watching us from, I bid you welcome. Now, all you have to do is to share this link to whoever, to your contact list, to your social media circle, to the people who are on your contact list. They need to know exactly what is going on here because everything we offer here is absolutely free. And then again, we are live on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn, we're also live on YouTube. So you can watch us wherever you are in the world. Now, you also have the opportunity to drop your questions in the comment section. Of course, the guests will respond to your questions as soon as possible. And also, this is powered by Source in Business. Now, Source in Business is a freelance platform where you can upload your gig and have employers contact you, sell your gig, and just generally be marketable, basically connecting you to your employer. And also we have pathways where you can learn and upskill. So if you have a skill, you want to learn some more, you want to upskill, you want to just start up your career as a freelancer, then you want to get on Sourcing Business. There are a lot of skills that can be learned for free. My name is Oge Mark, and welcome to Upskilling 5 million African freelancers in 5 years. Hello, our guest is already in the studio. Good morning, Sunday. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Oge. I'm fine. And you?
I'm great. It's good to have you here today.
Yeah, good to have you too.
All right, so let us just go straight into it. We've got so much to talk about today. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Sunday Abegunde. Some persons refer to me as Speaking Pen. I'm a versatile
The
content
what?
strategist. Some people refer to me as Speaking Pen.
Okay.
Okay, so I am a versatile content strategist. And content strategist here mean a merger of a content writer and a digital marketer. I strategize for brands in terms of their content, and then I help them manage their content. And my unique selling point is that I write, I design, and I do motion graphics.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. And I was asking, Femi this question a couple of minutes ago before we came on live. How long have you been doing this?
Okay, I started freelancing in 2014, as in actively. I started freelancing in
Okay.
2014. Yes, on the platform called Fiverr, and over the years
Okay.
I transformed to using Upwork. Then after Upwork, I started
Okay.
using a couple of other platforms like Sourcing Business now.
Mhm. Okay.
So basically,
Wow.
the freelancing journey started for me not basically as it was not as though I actually wanted to start out as a freelancer. I wrote a book, and then the book cover was designed in my presence, and that was I read the book in 2010. It was published in 2014. The cover design was done in my presence, so I love the way the person did it. So I was good with the writing, and then having the cover design in my presence, I was interested in that part because I got to understand that there are many things that comes in place to bring the book to become a book. So I wanted to have an idea of everything because I know we all want great sales, but great sales come about from great content plus great packaging and then great marketing, which is great sales.
Great. And that was how you, so when you do design, web design, creative design, all of that. So when you saw that, what step did you then take after that? Did you just start learning how to design, or because I know you mentioned that you wrote a book and you wanted to, sell the book and all of that. So did you not decide to learn design, or how exactly what were the actual practical steps that you took to launch yourself in the freelancing space?
Okay, so talking about freelancing, it has two major aspects: your skills and then the platforms. So talking about my skills, so I said my journey started in 2014 when I published my book and I started marketing it on the commercial skills. So like after publishing the book, I took a 6-month course in computer. You know, all this normal computer school we all go to. They taught of Photoshop, Photo Design, Microsoft Word. So I can do virtually everything in Microsoft Word. So at some point after publishing the book, I started getting offers from other authors. I published in 2014, I published a lot of my works on Facebook. So I started getting requests from people on Facebook to help them edit their book, to help them design their book cover. So gradually, I was doing it for free, and then the demand was coming higher and higher. So I started charging for it, although it was a token back then. So I started charging for the book cover designs. I helped some pastors ghostwrite and some other persons. So I dabbled into ghostwriting. So I started ghostwriting off any freelance platform. That's just from Facebook, people contacting me, people I don't know. Then people started referring me. And that was basically how the freelance journey started. Then when I joined Fiverr, I started working with some white. I was actually amazed. Like I love the idea of working with white people and getting paid in dollars. But then with time, I started observing something. There was a degree of racism. There was a degree of racism. I started. I mean, the energy was just not. I did not feel like I was treated right. For example, like even when you have disputes with white, so I was a little bit I had a little bit of displeasure for Fiverr. Even now, I still use the platform occasionally, and I'm well ranked there. But then I felt like I just didn't feel cool with the platform. So I knew
so Sunday, I'm going to interrupt you right there. Sorry about that. But when you said you experienced a type of racism, okay, what exactly did you experience? What were the things that you experienced that just give you very off energy?
Okay, so I worked for someone. She owns a media agency in the US. So I worked for her on Fiverr, and then we had an agreement on this is the amount I'm taking for this job. It was a video content. I'm supposed to write a script for a video content. So like we had an agreement on that, and after the agreement, so I started doing the project. Then she messaged me off the platform saying she was not saying it directly, but she was saying things in line of the amount she's paying me is a lot of money when I convert it to my currency. I think it just dawned on her that I am a Nigerian, that she wants to send more work than what we actually agreed on. It's just like saying write one video script and get $25. Then now you are meeting me off the platform saying that you would send me two. for the same $25. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And then she canceled the contract. And then Fiverr penalized me. Like after that particular contract, for like 3 months, I didn't get any job from Fiverr. And in that sense, I think Fiverr wasn't fair to me. Although later on the account picked up back.
Well, did you open up a dispute? Did you open up a dispute on the platform too?
Yes,
Wow.
I
And
did.
no investigation was carried out to
No.
ascertain. Wow.
So I think
Wow.
Fiverr is more concerned about the clients than the freelancer.
A
Unlike
freelancer.
maybe Upwork is more balanced, and a couple of other platforms. I tried TopTal too. A couple of other platforms are more balanced than Fiverr is actually a little bit sentimental.
This is the reason why I like sourcing business. I don't know about other, but this is the reason why I like sourcing business, because things like this can happen on sourcing business. It can happen. It
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
It can happen. It can. Oh wow. Okay, let's move on. So, talking about your career as a freelancer, and you talked about how you started in 2014, launching a book and designing, and then you started getting other people to contact you for the same service. So, now tell us, apart from being obviously you're a writer, what is content really? For someone who wants to start up a career in freelance, what is content really?
Okay, so content is information. Content is information. Remember, I was saying like content is information contained within communication media. And in our present age, the communication media that is most dominant is the digital media. Talk about social media, talk about YouTube, talk about ebooks, as in e-commerce, as in even emails, as in every form of digital media. I mean, so content is basically information. Then this information can come in different forms, like text form. That is where the content writer roles come to play. Then content can come in form of still graphics. Content can come in form of motion graphics. Content can come in form of slides, in form of videos. So content is basically information, and content is king because in our present age, content is oxygen. Content is the future. Content is what encodes the future, the past, and the present. That means like it's a way we document the present. It's a way we pass information from one end user to another user.
Great. So now you've talked about content. Now you also have an experience and a career in design as well. So how do you merge both of them together? How do you merge the content writing and the design? How do you merge both of them together to being as a social media strategist, or as a social media strategist?
Okay, so for me, I understand that content writing and then content designing, they are both geared towards the same objective. They are both geared towards the same objective. It's just that the form of expressions are different. One is expressed in text, the other is expressed in visuals. So the concepts are similar, but the tools are different. So we both in design and writing, you are communicating. What you are communicating, like you're trying to communicate to achieve a particular objective, and that is the major focus. We have a tendency to focus on aesthetics as designers, and same way the content writer. We are same way as content writers. We have the tendency to focus on sounding clever, but the major objective of both content writing and content design is the same. It's communicating information towards achieving an objective.
Okay. And for someone must you be a content writer to be a content designer, or you can switch both? It can just be one or the other, or you can't do one or the other. How does it work?
Okay, so I think content writing and content designing, they are two, yeah, they are similar, but then the tools is where they vary. That means like they require different tools, and learning how to communicate. It's just like same person can speak Hausa and that same person can speak Yoruba. Whether you speak Hausa or Yoruba, you need your vocal cord, you need to speak. So like content writing requires that you learn how to use language. For example, like for me, my journey in language, you started with playing Scrabble. I was playing Scrabble in GS3, and when I get home, I play Scrabble with people who are graduates of universities. So I was compelled, as I picked interest in learning new words a lot. So I go around with my dictionary, trying to learn strange words so that I can beat this brother Kenny that was graduated from UI in Scrabble. So that was like the beginning of my own journey in writing. Then gradually, I'm trying to like fuse up words together to make them rhyme, because okay, maybe I have a lot of words that are sounding ick. So now I'm trying to like look for a way to write sentences that end with similar rhymes. Then I started poetry. Then from poetry, I realized that poetry was more about passion. It was a food for thought that was not bringing food to my table. So I had to step up the game and started taking courses in content writing, and taking courses in content writing so I can write for brands and then get paid. I started learning how to write script, how to write advert copies, and I started getting some payments from that. And for graphics design, so graphics design, the learning curve is a little different. You have to learn the software, then you have to learn the art of graphics. There are people who know how to use. There are people who learn the software, but don't know the art. Like don't understand. Okay, the colors to fuse together. So if you give them the work to replicate, they can. But then they don't understand the process of generating an idea, like in visual form. So graphic design requires, so like you need to pick your tools, and then you need to probably learn from mentors, take courses. For me, I went to a computer school, learn graphics, then I watched YouTube videos a lot. So I think if you are considering learning graphic design, YouTube is your friend. There are 1,001 courses out there willing to teach you from start to finish. Then you have platforms like Skillshare. So I was learning a lot and improving on myself. Yeah, there's this stuff I did when I was in the university, Obafemi Awolowo University. I was offering my designs for just 1,000 naira per design. That means you want to do a logo design, just 1,000 naira. So that actually blew up on campus. People were referring their friends. People off campus were contacting me to design for them. So I was designing, and somehow I was learning with their jobs. Yeah, I think I was doing a fairly good job for them, but then I was learning with their job. So every day I was designing the logo for like 2 years. So that is like I've designed more than 700 logos, literally. And so then with time I joined an organization where I worked for after school, and I met a couple of other designers that were better than myself, and I learned from them and improved my skills. So I think design is like you start with learning the tools, then you start taking courses to improve yourself. So you can see the learning curve between content writing and content design are a little different. I think with just my own unique selling points that I do both. You don't have to do both content writing and content design together.
Interesting, very interesting. All right, so if you're just joining us, you can share the link to your contact list. We're live on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And of course, you can drop in your questions if you have any of them in the comment section, and Sunday will respond to that. Now, another thing that occurred to me while you were talking was, is there a difference between content writing and creative writing? Is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a slight difference. You know, sometimes like recently sometimes I get too much demand on me from my clients, and I have to outsource. I have a team of poets, over 200 poets. I've been mentoring since when I was on campus. Okay, that was after winning the World Winner of Poet Prize in 2016. So I have a league of poets. So sometimes when I send them my content writing jobs to do, they address it like creative writing. So they want to infuse. So that even brings us down to the place of sounding clever and trying to hit the objective. So they don't. Most poets want, the nature of poetry is cloudy. Poetry is a form of creative writing. So the nature of poetry is cloudy, and then you want to infuse the puns of this word. You want to use literary devices and all of that. But in copywriting, in content writing, you are more concerned about simplicity and your objective. So unlike creative writing that, okay, for example, in creative writing, I don't want to say things directly. I want to say things in a way that you would know that I thought deeply about this before saying it. I don't say things directly in creative writing, but in content writing, you have to be very simple. You have to be particular about communicating to your audience. The audience is your boss. The audience is the king. The audience is the god in code. Like they are the ones you're trying to satisfy. So you are not writing based on your objective when you are doing content writing. But in creative writing, I don't care if you really understand. I just want to express myself. So that's what someone like Wole Soyinka will do. Wole Soyinka is a creative writer. But then when you're writing for a brand, when you're writing for a company,
Okay. Hello, Sunday. Are you there?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually done explaining that.
Oh, okay. Okay. We had a moment where we lost you for a moment. The connection just froze for a moment and we lost you for a moment. Okay, so that's great. So basically, being a creative writer and being a content writer are slightly two different things. Now, you mentioned one, simplicity, being a content writer. What other skills, what other requirement it would take for someone to be a content writer? What other required skill is needed? I know you mentioned simplicity, but what else would say that this person is a content writer?
Okay, so aside simplicity, I think basically it's focusing on the objective, like focusing on the
Okay.
objective when you're doing content writing, unlike creative writing that you focus on yourself,
Okay.
that you focus on yourself. So I think that's the major difference.
Interesting. Interesting. You have to focus on the objective. Interesting. All right. Please send in your questions wherever you're watching us from. Abdullahi Tunde, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Lukman, thank you. Afolabi Nafisit Ajibola, thank you so much for Emmanuel. Thank you from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. Ogunsi, I think I got that correct. Ogunsusi, I think I got that. Good morning to you too. Thank you for joining us. Emmanuel from Lagos, thank you so much. You can send in your questions if you have any questions in the comment section, and Sunday will respond to them as soon as possible. Okay, now, what would it take? Now, being a content writer, this is amazing. Now, who is a content creator, and what does it take to be a content creator? Because everybody needs to call themselves content creator. In fact, you will find people who are on social media and just say I'm a content creator. It's just like a term to be cool these days. So are there special skills? Are there special things that differentiate a basic person, a popular person who's on social media with a large following from someone who actually knows the tricks, the skills required, the tricks of the trade, being a content creator?
Okay, so basically, when you talk about a content creator, it's not a complex phenomenon. Like content creator is a person who contributes information to any media. Like so it basically means contributing information, and this contribution of information can be in any form. So like for example, the dominant of the set of people we all refer to as content creators are the YouTubers. But don't forget that content is information. You don't have to be a YouTuber to be a content creator. Remember, the word itself is self-explanatory. Content creator, a person that creates content. So if I create content in text form, I'm a content creator. But those type of content creators are called content writers. If I create content in design form, I am a content creator. But those content creators are mostly called graphics designers. If I create content, if I create content in video forms, maybe I can be a YouTuber. You can create it in comic forms. You will be a skit. That will be skit makers. But the people, most people refer to as content creator, the skit makers and people on YouTube. But then content creation itself is the contribution of information to any media, and majorly in this our time is digital media. So then when you talk about content writing, then that is like communicating, contributing this information in text form, maybe via a platform via a platform like Medium. Then note that I'm saying text form. I'm trying to avoid using the word like content writing, because then you would have to start talking about content writing, copywriting. Content writing is different from copywriting. Copywriting is different from creative writing. But whether content writing, copywriting, or creative writing, they are all in text form.
Okay, let's drag it back a little. Now, you mentioned copywriting, content writing, creative writing. Now, you talk about the difference between content writing and creative writing. What about the difference between content writing and copywriting?
Okay, so content writing is a subset of content marketing. It's hinged on a concept called inbound marketing. So I'm feeding you with content with an intent to sell to you.
Okay.
That means, like, for example, I'm telling you about fashion generally, but my objective is to sell my own wristwatch to you in the long run. But copywriting is a more direct form of writing. That means, like, I'm selling to you. I know you are selling. I'm selling to you. You know I am selling to you. But then I am calling you to. I'm using things like CTA to ride on your emotions and ensure that you buy. So copywriting is more form of direct writing, direct advertisement. That's like I'm advertising to you, like I'm writing it that in a way that you understand. It's more direct. You understand that, okay, I'm trying to sell to you, but then I'm convincing enough that you buy. Content writing is feeding you with content, like I'm not trying to sell to you, like I'm not selling to you directly. Yes. In the long run, I might sell to you, but then I'm more the objective is more of feeding the audience with content.
Wow. Now, you mentioned something while talking. You said copywriting also thrives on riding on the emotions of people. You're writing about something you know the person is going to buy. And my goal is writing so that you can buy. But must you be selling something for you to be able to be a copywriter, or for you to indulge in copywriting? That's the one part of the question. The second part of the question is, what do you mean by writing on the emotions of the person reading what you're writing? Do you understand the question?
Hello?
Yes. Did you miss me right there? Okay, there seems to be a glitch somewhere. Did you get a question?
No. The network. There was a network surge.
Okay, the connection was bad. Okay. Do I repeat the question?
Please do, yeah.
Okay, all right. So the first question was, when you were talking, you said, copywriting. You said writing on the emotions of the person, of the people reading and watching and listening, to make sure that they buy, right? So what do you mean? What do you mean by writing on the emotions? That's one part of the question. And the other part of the question is, must you be selling something? The purpose, must you be selling something for you to indulge or to, practice or use copywriting? And, must you be selling something? Must there be something to buy, before you use copywriting or before you become a copywriter?
Okay, so copywriting in itself is a form of advertisement. The form of advertisement. So, like, when you talk about selling something, yes, the something you are selling may not be a tangible product. It can be an ideology. It might be you trying
Okay.
to create brand awareness. But if it's copywriting, you are selling. Then to sell to people, you need to appeal to the logic of the person you are selling to. But then in copywriting, we don't focus on just the logic of the person we are selling to. If there is, we appeal to the logic of the person. And so if I'm doing copywriting, like I'm not only focusing on appealing to your logic, I'm appealing also to your emotions. And that is also important in freelancing. For example, like when I'm writing to a prospective client, I'm not only trying to appeal to the client's logic. 1,001 other freelancers out there are doing that already. So like I'm trying to understand my clients, doing a kind of trying to quickly draw the consumer personnel on my head. Okay, so if I know the person I'm speaking with, my prospective client is a conk Muslim or a conk Christian, as the case may be, I may ride on, I understand how to ride on that emotion. For example, like I was speaking to a client 2 days ago, and I observed this client is from Saudi Arabia. I started my greetings with Assalamu alaikum. The truth is, I don't even know how to spell Assalamu alaikum. I had to quickly Google it and check it out. And I greeted him. That way, he opened up to me. Then I said, let's jump on the meeting. He responded to that, and we jumped on the meeting. We are having discussions presently. He was telling me he wants to tell his partner about me, then we can start working. So when it comes to copywriting, the objective of copywriting is not to, it is to sell.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. We have a question here, and this one is from Abdullah, and he says, what exactly is the main responsibility of a content writer? Pardon, I often find it difficult to understand. What are the responsibilities of a content writer?
I didn't get that.
Oh, he says that what exactly is the main responsibility of a content writer?
Okay, a content writer, the major responsibility of a content writer is to feed the audience. And then I hope you are not talking about copywriting. Of a content writer is to keep the interest. You know, when you talk about the customer journey, like is to retain the customer, is to ensure that that brand remains in the mind of that customer or the prospective customer. Maybe the customer is not buying from you right now, but your work as a content writer is to keep your brand in the mind of the prospective customer. And so you promote your products and services occasionally. I'm a strong proponent of inbound marketing, of you not selling too much to your client or to your prospects. So like your function as a content writer, you proofread the publications, you proofread and write the publications of your brand, your work as a content writer. So majorly you are trying to retain the interest of the prospective client or clients that have already patronized your brand. You just want to keep your brand in their mind. They may not buy from you in the next 2 months, 3 months, but then you just want to keep the brand in their mind. You want to feed them with quality information that they actually need. So like they see you as the person who gives the information. So when you want to sell to them, it becomes easier. So as a content writer, you are a nurturer. So you are nurturing the audience towards the objective of probably selling to them later.
Interesting. So the person asked about content writing. Now, what about the features of copywriting? What are the main features of copywriting?
What do you say?
What are the main features of copyright? The main features of copywriting, apart from writing on emotions, what are the main features of copywriting?
So when you're talking about that's defining the architectural structure of the copies you're writing, then calling potential what's it called? calling your potential clients or customers to action. That means like using CTAs when you are writing, and driving traffic. Then, for example, like if in copywriting, you ensure that you have a particular, you are converging your audience towards a particular direction. So, for example, you might have your website, you have your Facebook, so in copywriting, you are trying to take the prospect, the lead, on a journey from multiple sources. That means you can be advertising on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. So you're trying to converge them towards the point, towards maybe like your landing page on your website. So that is one of the features of copywriting. Then call to action is very important. So you can tell people's you can use your storytelling to keep them engaged and write interesting things. But then if you don't call them to action, if you don't call your prospective customers to action and say, okay, click on this to learn more about this, click on this to buy, click on this to do this, like calling them to action, like giving them the action to take. Okay, so it's just like you send us a copy, like you write a copy. After writing the copy, what should I do as a reader? So you tell them, you remind them, otherwise they will just consume your content without taking the action you desire that
Action needed, yeah.
Yeah, you would see YouTubers will always tell you, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. That is a call to action in their own in that context. But in copywriting, you also have to call to action. It's a very important feature of copywriting. Then another major feature of copywriting is your SEO, is your keyword search engine optimization. So sometimes you want to, but then I think one major thing I see people do these days is keyword stuffing. That means forcefully infusing keywords into their copywriting. So I think when we use keywords as copywriters, we must ensure that it looks as organic, as natural as possible. So so that we don't commit the punishable offense. Okay, not punishable. We don't commit the offense of keyword stuffing. So like those are the ones I would mention right now.
Okay, that's great. Now you achieved the status of a top rated plus freelancer. So how did you achieve that status? I know, considering starting from 2014, you have a lot of experience under your belt. So how did you achieve? I mean, some people have been, freelancing for about the same time. I've not been able to achieve that status. So how were you able to achieve the status of a top rated plus?
Okay, so basically by leveraging multiple platforms. So I don't just use a single platform. I use multiple platforms. There are clients that I started with on Fiverr, and now I'm working with them on Upwork. Fiverr was not here, but then that's fine. Then I leverage multiple platforms beyond just freelance platforms. As in, I pitch or preach, whichever one, LinkedIn to a lot of my friends on WhatsApp, because I have gotten so many freelance clients on LinkedIn. I've gotten so many freelance clients on LinkedIn that after engaging with them on LinkedIn, and then we've agreed. So we just use any freelance platform, most times Upwork, as a means to receive payments. The whole work of converting them happen on LinkedIn. And I feel like freelancers should leverage LinkedIn. It's an important platform. It is the social media for professionals, and it's important freelancers leverage them. Then another thing is this: like, to attain the status of a top rated plus, I treat my customers as gods. Like, it doesn't mean I leave their asses. Like, I don't take shit, but I treat them as God. I do everything I can possibly do to ensure that my customers, my clients are satisfied. I don't overpromise. I am very honest with my clients. I send my original portfolio. So like, so I don't send a design that a more advanced designer did and send it to the client. And then now doing the work and it's looking like. So I am honest with my clients. So I think if you treat your client as very important, then I used to say something. Okay, let me even explain this. My major breakthrough as a freelancer didn't happen on Fiverr. It was when I started using Upwork. When I was using Upwork, I met just one client. The client was starting a program in the US, winning Wednesday or something. So like I worked for her for 4.
We seem to have a network connection glitch right there. So you can send in your questions, drop your questions in the comment section, and Sunday will respond to them as soon as possible. All right. If you're just joining us, of course, don't forget you can log on to sourcein.business to grab any of the learning pathways available if you're learning and looking to upskill. You want to learn a new skill, you want to launch yourself into the freelancing space, you want to start up your career as a freelancer, then go on to www.sourcein.business to get on the platform, learn a skill, and also get on Sourcing Business, be able to advertise your skill, be able to offer your gig and make yourself available to employers. I mean, you see someone who's been doing this for a while, consistency, being there, doing it, over and over again. This is the only way you're going to get a breakthrough. And Sourcing Business offering that and absolutely for free. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth. Whether you are registering, you are selling your gig, you are uploading your portfolio so that other employers can see you and hire you and ask for your skills, or whether you want to learn something, you want to learn more, or maybe you don't even have any idea whatsoever and you want to learn more. As a matter of fact, this is the best way to empower someone. So someone who is looking for a job or who's done with school and haven't been able to get a job, you can just tell them to come on to sourcing.business, learn a skill. After learning the skill, and then you begin to practice what you've learned. It's just simple and it's absolutely free of charge. All right, Sandra, welcome back. Is the connection good
Yes,
now?
I'm back. Sorry about the network.
Okay.
I just observed
Great.
that the network wasn't showing StreamYard anymore.
Great. So please go ahead with what you were saying. You were talking about
StreamYard on my screen rather.
I
think I was talking about how to achieve being a top rated on the platform.
Yes.
So majorly the clients are the key. Then I consciously build a friendly relationship with clients. Build a friendly relationship with clients to ensure that then I do everything I can to ensure that every contract I get on any freelance platform becomes a long.
Okay. There seems to be a connection problem, of course. Faithful Ojetayo says, I believe people make up stories about their brands just to give it the best taste. What's your advice on that as a copywriter? I'm going to give from my perspective. All right. Like Sunday did say, he always tells the truth. The thing is this, right? If you overpromise, on your skill, on the service you're going to offer, if you overpromise, the expectation of the client will be increased. And there's the possibility of you not meeting up is really high. And that will bring disappointment. That will make the client not come back and would not give you a good review. However, if you underpromise but over deliver, that is a better plan and a better plan and a better thing altogether, because the client will be so happy, so excited that they will give you great reviews. Why? Because what they were expecting, they got more than what they were expecting. So it's so much safer and so much better to under promise and over deliver. All right, Sunday, I hope your connection is great now.
Yes, I've switched to MTN.
All right, great. Okay. So please go ahead with what you were saying.
Okay, so I think I was talking about. So I can see someone typing on over promise and under delivering. Sometimes it's okay. It's a factor you can't all the time control. I think you can control like they are okay. Although we can't exhaust that.
Let me take you back. Let me take you back to what led to this comment. Let me take you back to the other question. So the first question was, I believe people make up stories about their brand just to give it the best taste. The best taste. What's your advice on that as a copywriter? So while you were off, when this question came on, I did say that it is best for them to under promise and over deliver, because sometimes when you over promise, the chances of under delivering is very high. And when that happens, the client will be so disappointed, they'll give you a bad review and they won't come back because you overpromised and didn't deliver. However, when you under promise and you over deliver, they'll be so excited that they will give you a great review, and that will, when they make them come back, they'll refer you, and it just goes on. So that is where that is coming from. When this person says over promise, that is, Dave is saying over promising, promise, and under delivering sometimes is a factor you can't all the time control. So please weigh in on that, Sunday.
Okay. I think I agree with that. In everything there are exogenous factors and endogenous factors. Endogenous factors are factors you can control, and exogenous factors are factors you can't control. That applies in freelancing. But the truth of it is that overpromise should never. I mean, there are tactics in freelancing, and overpromising could look like can look like a tactics that one can adopt, because the competition is very stiff. The competition is very much on most platforms, and so everybody will do everything they can. But I tell you, without having to overpromise, there are 1,001 things you can do to make yourself stand out. That the client will look out to, in spite not overpromising, in spite not having maybe like samples of work that is as good as some other freelancer. Okay, for example, like for me, I will tell you I am more of a writer than a designer. So in short, like if you know some of my friends who probably might be live, I would not agree for you to call me a graphic designer, because I do everything a graphic designer does, but I don't see myself as one in the real sense of it. But then when I pitch for graphic designing job, I know I'm a stronger writer. Like, yeah, I'm good at graphic design, but then I know 1,001 graphic designers that are better than myself, and these are people I compete with the few times I go for graphic designing jobs. I know that my logo designs, my designs may not be as good as some designers, but I know I am very good in my own style, maybe like minimalism. So I pitch that to the client. I don't promise the client that I'm going to create emotion graphics that would blow you up. I won't tell you that. So I have my other strategies. And I share some of them on my LinkedIn occasionally. Like I have some other things. So like when it comes to factors, there are numerous factors there are other things you can do. For example, like you can use for example, like let me even share one that a friend of mine used. This is for those freelancers that are still struggling to get their first jobs online. So he saw the job description posted on the freelance platform, and then the job description entails creating a vector file for a file that has already been rasterized. And you know what we did? So instead of applying and sending samples and all of that, so he took the file the client sent, created the vector file, attached it to his proposal to get that job, and then it stated in his copy that he has already done it, that the client should check it. If this is what the client is looking for, the client should hire him and then pay him. Then luckily for him, although we understand that some clients are scammed, but then like luckily for him, okay, so if I'm the client too, I'm trying to hire somebody to convert a raster file or an image file to a vector file. And somebody that is still applying for the job has already done that. So the client picked him. So that is just one of the many things. I think we can be creative with the way we pitch for jobs, with the way we apply for jobs, than overpromising.
Interesting. That is interesting. Okay, so you talked about that now. You also talked about how to stand out when when you find yourself in a tight place. Now, apart from what your friend did, which is great, but what are other things, freelancers who are just starting up can do to stand out, especially when they are yet to get their first client, and especially in a place that similarly looks like a highly saturated market?
Okay, so the list is inexhaustible actually, but then I'm going to say so. Okay, one of the major things I see new freelancers do is addressing clients or prospective clients as dear prospects. Dear prospects. You are speaking with someone else that is also a human like yourself. So I feel like when I want to apply for a job, one of the things I do is I make a quick research about the brand, if the client mentioned the name of the brand, or if the client mentioned have the website on the job description. So I go to the website, quickly check one or two things. So if I'm writing a copy for the website, if I'm writing content for the website, I look through the website and see the content they already have there. If they did it right, I applaud the good things they do. Then if there are things I observed are not well done, I point it out even in my application. So the client would see that, okay, this guy is an expert in this. So I'm not only telling you I am an expert, I am showing you. So I would advise every freelancer, I understand everybody is not into writing or everybody into designing. Find your creative way to show the client that you are an expert, rather than telling the client that I have 7 years, I have 10 years experience in this. Show it in your assessment of the project. Then there's this stuff like rewriting the job description back to the client. It looks counterintuitive, but then it works. So if the client is saying, I am looking for a kick-ass copywriter, so you can understand that that client is a bit informal. So you give back that same energy. So you can state in your own application that you are a badass copywriter because the client said kick ass. Then if the client is and so you need to like study the body language of your client. I don't mean body language, the physical one. So when you read the job description, it's a psychology thing. Like try to read the client. So if the client is sounding uptight and formal, you to give the client an email format, uptight response. Then if the client is sounding very friendly, go very friendly with the client. Then then another thing I see freelancers do is having a template. Having a template they send to every job. They send for every job. Like I see a couple of them on LinkedIn. Yeah, I've used templates before, but then when I started attending to my clients, to my prospective clients in a more organic way, that means I respond to a job description as though it's an email. I don't send 1,000 proposals in a week. I might send just 7 or 5, but I am always intentional to ensure that these 7 I'm sending, these 5 I'm sending, this one proposal I'm sending in a day, except if this client doesn't see. If this client sees it, the chances that the client would hire me will be very high. So that is major. That is major. I think those are the stuff that come to mind right about now.
Nice one, Sunday. I mean, we've really had a good time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. The network is better
All right.
now.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I will just ask you one more question, then we'll call it a day. Where do you, I mean, how would you rate the participation of African freelancers in globally outsourced jobs? When we're talking about freelancing, it goes beyond what is done in Nigeria or Africa. Like yourself, I think you work for a couple of organizations, outside even Africa. So we know that the remote work environment, the freelance market, is a global market. Okay. So how do you see Africa? How do you rate us? So far, so good in the freelance market.
Okay, so I think I think African freelancers are talented. African freelancers are skillful. African freelancers are good. As in very good. I think because of the let me not speak for the whole Africa. I've not been to every country in Africa. Nigeria, because of the harshness of our economy, because of the situation of our country, because of the state of things, So like
Yeah.
we have been tricked into a mode of survivor mode, like survival of the fittest. So everybody wants to learn project management, everybody wants to learn copywriting, everybody. So like we take the skills that we learn as though our lives depend on it. So like even in the global market, the African freelancers are outstanding and very good, because I understand that for me to compete with a white guy to get a job from another white guy, I need to be exceptional with my skills.
Exactly.
So like I think African freelancers are doing very fine in that sense. But then we can't even beat the fact that there's a degree of racism or discrimination against African freelancers. There's a degree of discrimination against African freelancers. Okay, I think to be fair to the whites, like in a way, so African freelancers, especially like those in content writing, there's a way they write that sells just of as African freelancers. For example, like in normal Nigerian English, we use a lot of passive voice when we write. So when you're writing for the West, that when you write for the US,
I think your audio is.
So when you're writing,
is it your speaker? Is it your speaker?
Hello.
Yeah, it's still blurry, but it's okay. Kind of blurry. Anyway, I think you've done justice to questions. Actually, we have come to the end of the program, because you can see it's already 1 minute past 11, so we are good. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I mean, you've really been able to give out a lot of values. Personally, myself, I learned so much, because from the beginning of the program, I've been here, listening to you about that. So, and I strongly believe that so many other people out there that join the program will also have learned so much from you. Okay, so thank you. Okay, you're back.
I'm so sorry about that. My connection just decided to just embarrass me today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sorry about that.
All right. So we have come to the end of the program. So you can round up, please.
Okay, that's great.
My name is Femi Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Sourcing Business. Sourcing Business is an online platform where freelancers and employers of labor are able to connect in order to exchange value. The platform gives freelancers opportunity to be able to create their gigs, showcasing what they can offer to organizations, the solutions they can provide, and especially services they can offer, virtually. Startups are actually looking for skilled professionals like these who are able to help them deliver their job, cheaper, who are able to help them deliver their job faster, and who are able to help them deliver their job with better quality. And these are the capabilities that you found in Freelancers. And so Sourcing Business provides a platform where such people are able to offer their gigs so that startups and small business owners around the world can be able to access them to be able to